Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbara and today I'm here to record my November wrap-up vlog style video. Maybe you never heard of wrap-up vlog style, and I found this, or I saw this first time at Rachel Cerys' channel. I'll link it down below so you can have a look. And I got inspired. I really like the style of it. So basically how it works is, instead of us sitting down at the end of the month and talking about all the books that I read in the month, I will be talking about the books throughout the month as I read them instead. So this will be more of a check-in after I finish the book and what are my immediate thoughts kind of thing. So I'm here today because actually yesterday I finished, or actually didn't finish, my first book of the month. Today is November 4th, it is now my lunch break. So I thought I would just pop in and just tell you about the first book I read this month. I found this one book from the Read Now section. So basically you just have to fill it in your profile and you can get any book from this section for free. You don't need to request it and be approved, you can just read it right away. So I was checking this section and I found this one beautiful cover. I'm just obsessed by this cover. I love covers with this style that is like kind of dark with light accents, and it looks like a tree or roots and plants, and I love, absolutely adore this kind of cover style. So, and then the book is called Future Bride, Future Grimm. It's by DJ McLennan, and the undertitle is Transhumanist Tales for Mother Nature's Offspring. So basically this book is a collection of short stories that are kind of retelling of the Grimm fairy tales. And I love fairy tales, I love the Grimm brothers fairy tales, so I thought this sounded really cool. It had beautiful cover and everything, so I was like, I wanna try this. But the key point here is the transhumanist. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, but transhumanist basically means the next step in human evolution, which means that we'll be in much closer relationship with the technology. For example, half human, half android, and these kind of things. And so these stories are written in this kind of way. And if you never read anything about transhumanists and you're not interested in this is not a book for you, as it was not for me. It doesn't feel like fairy tales, it's just some made-up thing using some made-up words that I never heard before. I don't understand anything about this book. Some of the stories were quite interesting, and I was like, okay, this one I understand, this one I kind of like. But then some stories were completely like, okay, I just read this for like 20 minutes and I have no idea what I was reading. So, and I was just pushing myself through it, I didn't like it, so I just decided to DNF. So that is the first book. And if you don't know, I said in my November TBR video that I'm participating in Believathon, and after every book that I read this month, I will pick up a book for Believathon. Yeah, pick a prompt and then pick a book for that prompt. And this first prompt I already picked in the November TBR video. Where is it? Here it is. If you didn't see it, here is the prompt. And yeah, the prompt was set in a faraway place, and for this I picked Clap When You Land. So now I'm going to read this book. This is the next on the plate. But also I already started reading, before I read the Future Bride, Future Grimm, I already started reading the Lost Apothecary. I am 114 pages in and I really enjoyed this one. This is so good, so good. And I already started listening to Darker by E.L. James. I'm currently on page 63. So I just listened to this while doing some chores and other stuff. So that's the plan. Yeah, there we go. We continue with this one. Hopefully it will be better. I'm sure it will be better. So I'll see you later. Hello, I'm back. It's today Monday, November 8th, and I finished actually Clap When You Land on Saturday. I basically started on Friday, finished it on Saturday. It was really quick read. This was the first book for the Believathon Readathon, and I rated this 4 stars because this was so good. Most of the book focuses on grief after this dad and how after his death all these secrets came out, and how these daughters were trying to deal with that, and how his death basically reflected on their lives now, and how important he was in their lives while he was still alive. So I really like this book. It wasn't too heavy either, but I think it handled the grief really well. I also like the way it was written. On one side, it felt a little bit lazy because it's really like just not that much text. It's just basically, it's like verse, but it reads as a novel. It's not really rhymes or anything. So in that way it feels kind of lazy because it felt like the author didn't want to dive deep in all of these things, but at the same time it's YA and grief is kind of a heavy topic to cover, and I think she did it really well. The parts where the daughters are doing all right are like really nice and long, like lots of text on one page, and then when there is some situation when something tough is happening, then it becomes really short and it feels really like snappy, and it feels more like, yeah, that's kind of how it feels, that your brain kind of works in snaps, not one continuous thing, but it's like snaps, you know. I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but I actually really enjoyed that. So this was a 4-star read. And next, well, I'm still reading Darker. I'm listening to it on audiobook. I'm now 211 pages through, so almost halfway through. I'm also reading The Lost Apothecary. I am halfway through, I would say, like this, page 158. And this one I'm really enjoying. This is so good. I really love this one so far. And today I started reading The House in the Cerulean Sea because this is a buddy read with Diana. So I started it today. I'm on page 26 now. And so far nothing really happened, but I really like the writing style and it already gives some kind of a magical vibe. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I'm in the middle of 3 books and I started another one today as well because I was in the office and I just want to read these 2 physical, since I have them on physical, and during the lunch I didn't have any of these books with me, so I was reading The Princess Trap, which I have in my phone. So I was reading that during the lunch. I read 1 chapter. So yeah, that's it for now, and now I continue reading The House in the Cerulean Sea. See you when I finish one of the next books. Bye. I'm back. Today is Thursday, November the 11th, and today I finished the 3rd book of the month, which is Darker by E.L. James. This is the 2nd book in the 50 Shades of Grey series, as told by Christian. I listened to this on audiobook, and I don't know what to tell. Like, if you know the series, you know what happens in the 2nd book. If you don't know the series, well, I can't really tell you much about this book since it's the 2nd in this series, so I don't want to spoil anything from the 1st book. I missed the point of view of Anna, where we are in her head, so we understand how she feels and how she feels about everything that he does, because he is a huge jerk, right? When we are in Anna's head, in the original series, it makes it much more easier to understand why she loves him. In this book, we don't understand why she loves him. Like, I don't know how to describe this. Like, I understand from the previous series why she loves him, but if I didn't know that, I would not like this one at all. And also, the audiobook doesn't help because I feel like the audiobook is done in such a way that it makes him even bigger jerk. So I was not very happy with this one, but I gave it still 3 stars because it's still fun, quick read, even though it's like over 500 pages. Yeah, but that's Darker. But since this is done, it's time to pick another prompt for Believathon. So here we go. Which one? This one? This one? Red. This time we have red. Okay. Step away from what you know. It's not so bad when you change status quo. Read outside your favorite genre. Oh. Oh. Let me see what middle grade books I have. Okay, so for this prompt, read outside your favorite genre, I think I will read Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini. This is a short stories collection with like poetry. It's kind of like this, and this is basically most of the book looks like that. It's just like illustrations and short poetry like bits. So this book is about a father who cradles his sleeping son as they wait for dawn to break and a boat to arrive. He speaks to his boy of the long summer of his childhood, recalling his grandfather's house in Syria, the stirring of olive trees in the breeze, the bleating of his grandmother's goat, the clanking of the cooking pots. And he remembers too the bustling city of Homs with its crowded lanes, its mosque and grand souk in the days before the sky spat bombs and they had to flee. When the sun rises, they and those around them will gather their possessions and embark on a perilous sea journey in search of a new home. I also didn't notice until just now that this is signed edition, which is really cool. I didn't notice until just now when I was listing through it. So that's my next book for Believathon. And also I want to update you on all the other books I've been reading. So first of all, I have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I'm on page 111, like this. I really hope I'll be able to finish it by the end of the week. And then I'm also reading still the Lost Apothecary. I'm on page 162. I love both of these books. They are both really amazing. So different, but so far I'm in love with both of them. And then I'm also reading The Princess Trap on my Kindle. I'm only on chapter 2, so no real progress there. But yeah, that's my update, and I'll jump into the Sea Prayer and then continue with my other reads. Okay, this is later the same day, Thursday. Excuse my hair, I just washed it and I don't know why I chose this angle, but anyway, let's roll with it. I'm here to say that I finished The Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini. It was really short. I read it in like 10 minutes, 15 maybe, because, well, I tried to enjoy it and enjoyed all the beautiful illustrations as well. I gave this 3 stars with a little of a broken heart, I have to say, because I really wanted to give this 5 stars, but it was too short, I think. I think I expected more from it. At the same time, I think it told the story pretty well, and how they struggle with, yeah, how they need to escape Syria, and how amazing the life was before, how much they loved their country, but then they had to escape the war. And but it was way too short, I think, and I expected more from it, but at the same time the illustrations were beautiful and the story was told great. So in the end it came out as 3 stars on Copal, and I thought I would just roll with it. But it's a beautiful book and beautiful illustrations. But yeah, there goes my second book of the Believathon, and I roll on to the next book and see which will be the next book that I finish. But that's it for now. I'll talk to you another day. Hello, I'm back. It's been a couple days. I hoped I would be able to come here to talk to you before Sunday, November 14th, since that was the day when both Game of Thrones Readathon and Long Distance Relationships Readathon ended, so I hoped I would be able to finish the books for those. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so I'm here on Tuesday, November 16th, when I finally finished one of the books, and I finished The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I read this as a buddy read with Diana from dibooklife, and I don't know what to say about this book, except this is my new all-time favorite, because, or at least one of them. This was the sweetest book I've ever read, and I enjoyed it so much from the first page until the last one. I couldn't stop reading it, and I finally understand what everybody talks about, the warm fuzzy feeling, and I had that reading this book. It was like so cozy and nice, and I don't know, I just love this book so much. 5 stars for sure. I haven't read it through Copal yet, so I don't know the official rating, but man, this has to be 5 stars. This is absolutely brilliant book. So I'm really excited to read the next book by TJ Klune that he released recently. I think it's called Under the Whispering Door, and that sounds also really cool. But this book, if you love magic, this book I think everybody would enjoy. It was so cute and so sweet. I loved it so much. And this was my book for the long distance relationship readathon, and this was also for the Game of Thrones readathon, and the prompt was King's Landing, read a 5-star prediction. And it was 5 stars, which doesn't happen that often, so I'm really excited. How it goes with my other readings, I'm still reading Lost Apothecary. I don't think I've made any progress since I last talked to you. Page 168, so that's still going on. And then I've been reading The Princess Trap, and there I've made quite some progress. I think last time I talked to you I was on the first chapter or something. Now I'm reading chapter 22, 63% in. I have it in my Kindle because, well, I found it first on audiobook, but I hate the audiobook because the main guy in this book is Danish or from Scandinavia, and in audiobook he sounds very Russian. So I hate it, and I just hate how he was like narrated because it made him like feel like such a jerk, and when I read it he's kind of like cute and sweet. So I'm reading it on Kindle instead. So that's a good progress, 63%. But since I finished the book, we can't forget for Believathon. So I'm going to pick another prompt for Believathon. Okay, let's go. Not gonna look. Let's give me some prompt for Believathon. Got one. I want this one. Green. We are going for all the colors so far. And the green one is... Let me... Ooh, I don't know if you can read it yourself, but I'm going to read it for you. Before you, a dragon that snaps at the pyre, there's only one way to avoid the hot fire. Creature in the title. Ooh, this is interesting. Let's see what Gavin said as a suggestion for this one. Dragon Mountain, maybe. Perfect. So I'll be reading Dragon Mountain by Katie Tsang and Kevin Tsang. What is it about? Shortlisted for the Children's Book of the Year, the first book in the Roarsome Dragon Realm series for 9+ readers. Perfect for those who love fantasy, magic, adventure, and dragons. I love dragons. Hello. Okay, I think that sounds perfect. Script also has as a book, so I can also read it, not only listen to it, but I really want to listen to it, so yeah, there we go. So that's my next read is Dragon Mountain, and that's for the prompt Creature in the title. I think that's perfect. And I'll be back when I finish that, or I finish any other book. See you later! Okay, I'm back. It's 2 days later. It is now Thursday, November 18th. And I just finished my third book for the Believathon, Dragon Mountain by Kerry Zhang and Kevin Zhang. And I just finished it. I was both listening to it and reading it on my phone. It was available on Script. And I think it was really cute. It is basically a first book in the Dragon Realm series. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm not sure. And I love dragons, so that was a win right away. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really cute. The story was quite intriguing. Like I really liked how it was not, I don't know, not too simple, but and yet not too like over the top. And especially I enjoyed the first half when we just get to know the world and we get to basically meet these characters. And I think that was done really, really well. I really enjoyed it, and I thought like, yeah, I kind of couldn't stop reading it, I guess. Then the second half was a little bit hurried and a little bit, it felt like unfinished, like just random things put together. But nevertheless, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I can imagine myself reading the next book in the series. It won't be my priority, but I definitely could do that. It was really cute, and yeah, I gave it 4 stars. So overall, it was a really great reading experience, I think. And the cover is beautiful, like dragons on the cover. Gotta love it. So that's that. And the next, I'll try to finish up the Princess Trap. I think I'm around 64% in, so I well, 1/3 is left, a bit more than 1/3. So I'm really excited to see how that all turns out. I mean, we all know how it's gonna turn out, but anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna continue reading that, and I'll be back when that's done. Hi, I'm back. It's Friday, it's now 8 p.m. and I just finished The Princess Trap. I read it on my Kindle. Talia Hibbert, the same author who wrote the Brown Sisters series. I haven't read any of those books, but yeah, this one came up as my part of my TBR avatar. So I read it. I was supposed to finish it by last Sunday, so I'm 5 days late, but that's okay. It was for the Game of Thrones Readathon. It was the third prompt. Iron Throne, read a book featuring royalty. Basically what happens is there is this main character, Cherry, who is this beautiful, amazing, smart black woman in the UK, I believe. And she works in administration for a university. And this prince from a Danish island comes to the university, and one thing leads to another, right? And there is some spark between them. And you can tell it from the beginning, and that beginning was my favorite part of the book, where you just see the first spark between them and like the first time they go out. That's my favorite part of the book. The rest of the book was pretty good. I enjoyed the overall story. It didn't quite went as I expected, which is completely fine because I never expect much from romance books. So it was all good. I really liked it. But what I really didn't like about this book was the amount of swear words used in this book. I actually got so annoyed by it at one point. In my Kindle, I searched for the F word, how many times it was used in the book. And it was 180 times. Now I understand that some of those times was not a swear word, it was regarding a different activity. But most of the time, like 98% of the time, it was just used in like every other sentence almost. All the time. And like once they were arguing and she said like, instead of God forbid, she said God for fucking bid. I'm like, God, what did you just say? Like, it bothered me so much that there was like this language, and it wasn't only from the guy who is supposed to be, you know, this, I don't know, sometimes we would expect it from a guy, right, that it's that kind of guy. But no, it was both of them, and it kind of felt like the author didn't know how to express some of the emotions well, so she used this word instead to emphasize a certain emotion, which seemed completely like no from me. Anyway, overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked the way it was done. I didn't like the audiobook because, as I said before, the guy is Danish and the narrator read him with Russian accent, which doesn't make any sense at all. It didn't really make me feel like I want to read the rest of the Hibbert books or the Brown Sisters books. So I gave it 3 stars. It was enjoyable, but not probably kind of forgettable, or we'll see. But yeah, that's The Princess Trap. And now, since I finished that one, it's time for another prompt from Believathon. It was like, yesterday I finished one of them, right? And now it's like, now it's another prompt already. So I'm just gonna mix it a little bit. I feel like in water right now. Yeah, okay. There we go. No. You, I want you. Right. What? Oh, there we go. Here it is. I'll show you first. Okay, let me read it for you. A book of few words can still make an impact. Less is more and more is less. It's a matter of fact. Read the short book. I think short book was classified as less than 250 pages. And the book I wanted to read the most was this one that I received today. And this has 260, so I don't think I can bend that rule. Let me check. Yes, I just found it on NetGalley on Wednesday, I think. There is a book, Rebel Girls Climate Warriors. Okay, and this book has 64 pages, so it is a short book. Reading age 7 to 12. And It's basically 25 tales of women who protect the earth. So basically this book is about stories of 25 women who dedicated their life to saving earth, and I absolutely adore the idea of it, so I decided to read that. And it's also for my NetGalley, which is perfect. So that's my next read. Yes! Lovely. Okay, so that's what I'm going to read next. That's gonna be a pretty short read. I'll be back when I'm done with that. Hello, I'm back. It is now Saturday evening and I finished Rebel Girls Climate Warriors, which was my 4th book for Believathon. The prompt was read a short book. This book was 66 pages or something like that. I got it from NetGalley and the published date is March 29th, 2022, so next year in March. And I'm so happy I found that book and that I got to read it because it was amazing. And if you've been on my channel, if you know me, you know I'm really interested in environmentalism and sustainability and climate crisis and all these things. And this book was absolutely perfect. I loved it so much. It had beautiful illustrations and it talked about 25 amazing women who protect the environment and water, animals, and fight for equality and fight against discrimination. And it was really well written. Like, it was so inspiring how, like, what all these women did and achieved, and I loved it so much. It also included additional podcasts or like more stories about these women, but like on audio that you could scan, you know, the QR code, and it would take you to these stories. So that was really cool. And in the end, it had like advice on what you can do, like the small things you can do to help the environment and to live more green. And it was just really cool, and it feels like very inspiring for children. So I believe this book, every school, every library for children should have it so the children can read it and access it, and we as adults should support them in this because it's absolutely fantastic. And the book was created by organization Rebel Girls, which wrote many other books. They won some awards for their other books, and yeah, now I kind of feel like I want to read all of the other books as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was perfect. It was 5 stars, absolutely 5 stars. It was also perfect. I got at least one non-fiction this month. I also started listening to The Man Who Played with Fire by Jan Stoklas, which is a true crime non-fiction. So I'll get 2 non-fiction this month. Anyway, after I finish this book, now I will be reading or continuing to read the Lost Apothecary. I don't have it right here with me. Lost Apothecary, I have around 130 pages left or something like that. So maybe I'll get that finished by tomorrow. We'll see. That's what I'm hoping for. Hello, I'm back. It is now Sunday, early afternoon, it's like 2 p.m. or something. And I just finished The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. And I have a little confusing feelings about this because, I don't know, some part of it I really loved and some part of it felt a little bit cheesy, or like it was a little bit, not forced, but not very, like, you know, natural, or how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but first half of the book was amazing. I was really invested. I really loved there were actually 3 point of views, like we follow these 3 women, and one of them is in present day and 2 of them are back in 1791, and I love that because I didn't know this was the case, and I love this element that we were jumping between history and now. And while I enjoyed the present day story as well, I definitely felt more attached and more intrigued by the past one, the history one. And that's also what was a little bit off for me in this book. Like, on one hand, I really loved it, the jumping between present and past and how it connects everything. And I liked how sometimes we have answers in the past timeline, sometimes we have answers in the present, and it like kind of like overlaps like this. I think that was really well done. But at the same time, I wish the more focus was put on the past timeline. So that's a little bit, I don't know, it's missing something. Like, I loved it, but at the same time, I missed something. So I think I'll have to sit on this one a little bit, but for now I gave it 4 stars. I ran it through Copal and it came as solid 4 stars, but it maybe feels a little bit like unfair to my other 4-star reads. I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, I expected to love it, and to some degree it definitely fulfilled it, but at some point also it was a little bit cheesy, I think. But overall I think it was really great book and I really enjoyed it, but it definitely will not be one of my new favorites or something like that. Anyway, that's this, so 4 stars. And then, since this is done, it's time for another Believathon prompt. Another book from Believathon. I think it's number 5. Yeah. Okay. No. This one. Yellow. Finally we got the yellow. And the yellow is... Hopefully you can read it. Can you? We welcome you home. We welcome you happily. The newest addition to my bookish family. 28, your most recent purchase? Oh my god, perfect! Okay, now to be fair, this is not my purchase, I didn't buy it myself, but this is definitely the most recent middle grade or children's book that I got. I received this in prize from a giveaway just 2 days ago, on Friday. So this is my next read, A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig, and I can't wait to read this one. Yes, so excited. Okay, I'm jumping into this one. Hello, I'm back. It's now Tuesday, November 23rd evening. It's like 6 p.m. If you can hear some noise, it's the washing machine, so I apologize for that. Otherwise, I'm here to tell you about the book I just finished. Well, I finished it yesterday, and that was A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig, and I think everyone should read it. Everyone who loves Christmas and holidays and Santa Claus should read this book, because I finally found out who Santa Claus is and where he comes from. So that was really cool, because I love Christmas and I love Christmas movies and everything, but I've never seen or heard the story of like how Santa Claus came to be. And this is the story, and I just adored it so much. This is such a sweet, cute, magical book. I loved it so much. It was a little bit dark as well. There was a middle part that was quite dark, but it wasn't like too bad. It was like, okay, I just didn't expect it very much from this kind of book. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars. And I already put the books from the rest of the series on my wish list. If anybody ever wishes me to purchase a book, some of these will do, because it has... The next book is The Girl Who Saved Christmas, and the third book is Father Christmas and Me. And then there are 2 additional books about some characters from this book, and it's just so cute, and yeah, I would love to read all those. And I recommend you to read this too if you enjoy Christmas and, yeah, Christmas stories. So that's that. And next, I want you to start reading Ariadne, which is the next on my TBR. But before I managed to start today, I wanted to start this today after work. But after work I did some dishes and some house chores and everything, and I was listening to The Man Who Played with Fire by Jan Stoklasa, and this is basically the true crime novel about Olof Palme's murder in Stockholm in 1986, and about all the files that Stieg Larsson had on this murder, and this is basically put in this book. And the first... I listened to it on audiobook, and the first, I don't know, 50 pages were so good. I was so invested and I really enjoyed it. I was like, I wanna know what happened. But then it got a little bit more like away from the main focus, and that's not what I'm looking for in this kind of book. So I really got kind of bored and lost in all the explanations and all the people and all the organizations, and I just was like not listening. I would hear every third word, and it's just not enjoyable for me. And I was only 21% in the book, like 100 pages out of 500, and I just feel like there are so many other books I want to read, so I decided to DNF that. Maybe come back to it later on, but I'm just not in the mood for that now, to focus on that kind of thing. So I DNF that one, and that I count as we need another Believathon prompt. So here are my prompts. There's so many left, so I'm really curious what the next one's gonna be. Okay. I'll go some from the top, maybe up here. Ah, I want this one, this one, this one. Ah! Must be awful face on the camera. This, another yellow. Yay! Probably will not be able to read this one either. The temperature drops, it's cold in our town. Grab a hot chocolate, let the snow fall down. Read a book with winter vibes. I know exactly what I want to read for this, because I currently have 4 children books that I would like to read. 5. 5, I need to check the other one. Because one I have only in computer and the other one is an audiobook. So I have to check if the one on audiobook fits winter vibes. I think the Nutcracker and the Mouse King. It is 2 hours 47 minutes long, so I should be back here tomorrow to talk to you about how that went. Hello, it's now Thursday evening. It's like after 8 p.m. I was in the office today, so I'm so tired, and actually yesterday I finished the Nutcracker. It was a book with winter vibes, and honestly I'm not sure how much winter vibes. It had Christmas vibes, but not exactly winter vibes. There was no snow mentioned or anything like that. But I'm still really glad I got to read it. I read the short version, the 80 pages or something it is. The real version is like 250 pages or something, and I heard that one is much better. Anyway, if you never seen or read Nutcracker, and if you don't know much about Nutcracker, it is basically about the girl called Maria, I think she's 8 years old, who gets a nutcracker, wooden soldier, who is used to crack nuts with his teeth. And she absolutely falls in love with this toy. She gets it for Christmas as a gift, and then she wants to play with the toy, and the first night there come all these mice to fight with this Nutcracker. Yeah, and I don't know how much more I should tell you, but that's basically beginning, kind of, and it's kind of a fairy tale. A little bit dark sometimes maybe, but well, fairy tale. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It had really this classic feeling, you know, as it is a classic, it is like 200 years old or 150 years old. So you can definitely feel how this book aged, and yeah, the language from back then, and it was just so cool. I mean, it is translated, but I still like the vibe of it, and it felt similar to Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and I love that one so much. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I ran it through Copile, but just like so. So it came out as 4 stars. The ending I didn't really get. I don't know if I should talk about this, but if it is the way I hope it was a great ending. I loved it. If it's not the way I hope it is, then it was very disturbing. But I'm not gonna say more. Yeah, so that's that. Next up is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I haven't started this one at all yet. I know I've been telling you for a long time I wanted to start this one, but I still haven't, but I'm really excited to. And then I'm feeling like I want to listen to a book. I don't have audiobook for this, so I can't listen to this. So I was thinking, because I have other 3 books that are middle grade or children's books that I have on audiobook. So I was thinking I could pick another prompt from Believathon and start listening to those, because there is one activity slash Christmas gift that I'm working on, and while I do that I like to listen to audiobook. So I would like to do that. So I think I'll try to pick another prompt for Believathon, and hope that one of these 3 books will fit the prompt. Let's see what prompt I get. Okay. Blue. We got blue. And by the force of a patient heart, a lifetime to wait before you start. Read an anticipated book. I'm not anticipating any of those 3 books that I have on audiobook, so I will try to find a different book on audiobook. Let me see what I can find on script. Maybe some other middle grade audiobook. Amari. Everyone's been reading Amari. Yeah, because I heard so many people talking about this book, and so I think I will give it a try. That could be definitely an anticipated book for me. Artemis Fowl meets Men in Black in this exhilarating debut middle grade fantasy, the first in a trilogy filled with black girl magic. Amari Petrus has never stopped believing her missing brother Quinton is alive. Not even when the police told her otherwise, or when she got in trouble for standing up to bullies who said he was gone for good. So when she finds a ticking briefcase in his closet, containing a nomination for summer tryout at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, she's certain the secretive organization holds the key to locating Quinton, if only she can wrap her hand around the idea of magicians, fairies, aliens, and other supernatural creatures all being real. Now she must compete for a spot against kids who've known about magic their whole lives. No matter how hard she tries, Amari can't seem to escape their intense doubt and scrutiny, especially once her supernaturally enhanced talent is deemed illegal. With an evil magician threatening the supernatural world and her own classmates thinking she's an enemy, Amari has never felt more alone. But if she doesn't stick it out and pass her tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quinton. Yes, I'm gonna listen to this. There we go. That's my reading update right now. And later. Hello. I'm back. It's been a minute since I talked to you. It is now Wednesday evening, December 1st. So November is over, and since I'm here talking to you now, it means that I didn't manage to read Ariadne in November. I am currently on page 95. I enjoy it, I really do, but it is hard for me to read for some reason. Like, I only read like 10 pages or 15 pages a day, and I don't know why. It's just tough recently, but so far I'm enjoying it, so I will keep reading it and I will finish it, well, hopefully by the end of this week. I'm also listening to Amari and the Night Brothers, and there I am 54% in or something like that, still enjoying it very much. That should be also finished by the end of the week, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so those I did not manage to read in November or to finish. So I will not count them towards the November wrap-up. So I want to now sum up the entire month. I already talked to you about every single book that I read, so I will not go through that again very much. I'll just want to tell you some statistics and just sum it up. So in November I read a total of 12 books, which is a lot for me. That's a lot. It summed up to be 2,887 pages, which is approximately 96 pages per day, which is a lot for me. That's not counting Ariadne and Amari. Then I would like to mention the Readathons I was trying to participate in. One of them was Game of Thrones Readathon, where I was supposed to read 3 books. I did read all 3 of them, but I didn't manage to do them within the time span, so I'm gonna say I failed that. Next Readathon was LDR-athon, or Long Distance Relationship Readathon, hosted by Chloe. And this, I also read that book, but also not within the time set for the Readathon, so I failed that one as well. But Believathon took place the entire month, and for that one I read 6 books. So to sum up, for Believathon, the first book was Set in a Faraway Place, Clap When You Land. That's this one. Then we had Read Outside Your Favorite Genre, and for this I read Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini. Then the next prompt was Creature in the Title. For this I listened to Dragon Mountain by Katie Tang and Kevin Tang. Next one was Read a Short Book. For this one I read Rebel Girls Climate Warriors by Rebel Girls, and this I read on my laptop from NetGalley. Another one was Your Most Recent Purchase. For this I read A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. And then the last one was Book with Winter Vibes, and for that I read The Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffman. I listened to that. And then I picked another prompt, which was Read an Anticipated Book. For this I'm still listening to Amari, but I haven't finished it, so I'm not gonna count it. But I did read 6 books, well, out of which 3 I have physically. And then I read The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is my favorite book of the month, 5 stars. I read The Lost Apothecary, which was for the book club. I read Darker, so I can return it to the library now. What else did I read? I read Future Bride and Future Grimm from NetGalley. I didn't finish it, didn't like it. I read The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, that was alright. And then I listened to The Man Who Played with Fire, but I didn't finish it because just wasn't the right time, I didn't feel it, so I didn't finish that one. And then the summary, so I read total of 5 physical books. Here I have 6, but Darker I actually listened to instead. And then I listened to 3 audiobooks and read 4 ebooks. Then 58% of the authors were men and 50% were women. Now, yeah, I can do math. This is 108, but one of the books was written by 2 authors, men and women. So that's why that's there. Then another statistic is 58% were white authors and 42% were BIPOC. And then I read 3 fantasy books, 2 non-fictions, 2 romances, and then 1 of each short stories, contemporary, poetry, historical fiction, and classic. And then to just sum up the ratings of what the ratings were per month, that we have 2 5-star reads, 5 4-star reads, that's amazing, 3 3-star reads, and 2 DNFs. So that's the entire summary of my November as a reading month. I think it's really, really good. I'm really happy with my November. I found my new favorite book. Yeah. So that's it, that's my November. Let me know if you read any of these books that I talked about, that I read this month. If you read them and what you thought about them, and we can discuss them, that will be fun. Also let me know what was your favorite book of November. Yeah, I think that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know, so I know if you enjoy this kind of videos or if I should just stick with normal wrap-up, not vlog style. This is my first vlog style videos, so I'm still really new with it. Yeah, but that's it. Thank you so much. If you liked it, please like it, subscribe so you can see more of my content. Leave me some comments down below so we can discuss the books or whatever, anything really. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!